Hi everybody, happy Saturday. I hope you're all having a beautiful day. I have been battling a little bit of a chest cold, so I apologize if I cough a lot during this video. I am just managing all of that. So anyway, I still wanted to show up and record this because I've gotten a lot of requests about it, and for me it's a little bit of a fear too. I do a lot of podcasts, but in terms of putting my face on video or long form video, it's a little overwhelming. So I feel like this is also a good exercise for me to show up for my own growth and development. So we're all in this together. Every day we're learning something new, including myself. So yeah, I'm really glad that you're here. I'm going to link below the facilitator for the breathwork workshop that I did, as well as Heal Haus, which is the location that it was given. It's a really beautiful space in Brooklyn, New York, which I love Brooklyn. It reminds me so much of LA. I definitely felt right at home there. So yeah, I think the easiest way for me to kind of go through this is just to kind of walk you through the actual experience that I had, how I felt, and what I experienced afterwards, because a big part of the experience, because it was so intense, was being sure that I integrated everything and reflected and kind of was able to process as well afterwards. So that took about a week. So, but let me back up. So I signed up for this workshop. I showed up to Heal Haus. It is a beautiful space. I highly recommend it if you're on the East Coast in New York or New Jersey to check it out. They have amazing holistic wellness options and offerings, and they also provide therapy. So it's kind of this amazing healing spot, and I truly had a great time. So I highly recommend it. So when I got there, it was an evening workshop class. It started at, I believe, 7:30, ended at 9:30. We were taken to a back room that was really private. It was all really cozy and warm, and there were yoga mats set up in kind of a circular pattern, so that we could all, as a community of the people taking the workshop, kind of join together and bond a little bit and be in each other's presence and share our energy with each other. Our facilitator was just amazing. She has this, I don't know, like Mama Gaia, like really grounding kind of energy that just felt for me so safe, so present, and I definitely felt held at all times, which was just, the container she provided was amazing. So I love her. If you guys are in New York, go check out one of her offerings. Again, I'm going to put her Instagram handle in this description so that you can check her out. So yes, so we opened with holding hands in the circle, setting intentions for what we wanted to experience during the workshop, whether it was to experience deep healing, to process, to release, or even just to be open to experiencing whatever comes up. But we were intentional about voicing to each other what we wanted to experience and what we wanted to call in for the breathwork session. And I've done other breath work before, but it was more yogic breath work, like pranayama breathing and different kind of slower breathing techniques to shift into the parasympathetic nervous system. And this breath work actually kind of induces your sympathetic fight or flight system and reactivates your autonomic nervous system. So it's kind of a really opposite practice that was very activating. But yeah, so we went in a circle, we set our intentions. We also had, the facilitator opened up the circle for protection and guidance from the universe, from our ancestors, angels, guides, whoever is there to kind of protect us and bring us through this experience, which I thought was so beautiful. And then we were taught how, basically what to expect, that there might be some cramping and your hands might kind of go like this. And I was kind of just very surprised. I'd heard about this breath work before. I didn't think it was going to be that walking into it, but I'm really, really glad that the universe kind of threw that on me, because it's about time that I had experienced this, really and truly. So she taught us a specific technique for the breath work that we'd be doing over the next however long, you know, that she had prescribed for the actual breath work working, like that we were actively breathing in this specific way. I'm not going to teach you guys how to do that because I do not want you to go home and do this alone. If you've never done this before, it can be extremely triggering, activating, and if you don't have someone there to kind of guide you, hold you, help you through this, it can be a re-traumatizing experience, I think. So be really gentle. If you're interested in checking out breathwork, go check out the facilitator or the place that I mentioned. And I will also be providing a couple of other options in the LA area if you're there. But you can really pretty much Google breathwork workshops, classes, and you'll probably find this kind of trauma-focused breathwork, which was just really awesome. So we did the breath work to some music that she picked that was just awesome. She said she had a gift for the playlist, and she does. It was so good. And during this breath work, even from the first minute or so, my entire body went tingling, full tingles from here all the way to the tips of my toes. I was shocked. I really didn't think it was going to happen that fast, but within the first minute or two, I felt like full body tingling. My mind started to really race. I started to feel panicky. I almost tapped out. I was like, whoa, this is very, very intense. Then my body kind of went totally numb. And one of my triggers is not having control over my body, not having my autonomy available. And so I was pretty worried that I was going to have a panic attack or be sent in some kind of extreme fight or flight situation. So I had to constantly reassure myself that even though I was experiencing this kind of physical paralysis, which was absolutely incredibly strange and out of body experience and scary, it was really scary, if I'm totally honest. But I always felt held by our facilitator, which I think was the key in kind of continuing to do this work through the workshop without tapping out and saying, this is it, I can't do this. So at different points during the breath work, she actually called out for us to make noise. And so I kind of decided, you know what, I'm here, I want to get this stuff out. I have a lot of trauma. I can tell it's still in my body so much just by how sensitive it is and how much I'm reacting. I'm just going to go for it. If I'm here, I'm going to do it all the way. And so I screamed, primal screaming, and all of a sudden, all of the stuff that I had no idea was even in my body. And as someone who's been healing themselves for 5+ years, this was a huge surprise that I had such a huge reaction. And the screaming just felt so cathartic. It felt primal. It felt like I was screaming, but I was the child who was screaming out of rage and anger about the things that the child is going through or was going through. And so I really felt like I channeled some really deep part of my inner child that I think I've buried very deeply for a long time. And so I had some memories flash up of particularly difficult times in my childhood. And I just kept telling myself, you're safe, you're held, you're going to be okay. You have to release, you have to let go of this grip that you have on this pain. And what's so interesting is that even though my body was paralyzed, my arms started to move on their own, and my hands cramped up so much they were in pain, and they looked like this, and I was kind of laying down like this, and I couldn't move my arms down, I couldn't move them aside, I couldn't unstick my fingers, I couldn't do anything other than just stay completely cramped. And that was also a very scary experience. But I realized through what the facilitator had explained that we are releasing so much through energy through our hands when we're bringing up through the breath work all of the body stored trauma, and it comes out through our mouths and through our hands. So she explained that when we have this kind of a really hard cramping, it's because we are holding on so tightly to this pain and this trauma in our bodies that we're kind of subconsciously holding, literally holding on to it and not allowing it to flow through our hands. And so mainly I spent the entire time doing the breath work, not giving up on that, even though it was really scary, kind of reassuring myself to just allow the experience to happen and that all of this is meant for me. It's not happening to me, it's happening for me. And there's a lesson and there's things that I need to obviously pay attention to because of the way I'm responding. So we closed out, she brought us all back. We had a really great kind of sharing circle where we got to connect with one another in the little kind of group that we had formed. And that was hugely powerful, just being seen and validated and heard in our own experiences by others in the room was healing and so awesome. And to witness other really brave people doing this too, just kept inspiring me to want to do more. So that is pretty much my experience. It was like for days after, I felt like a ringing in my head, and my body felt like it was pulsing for about 24 hours, like pulse, like all parts of my body from like a cellular level. I have no idea. I've never felt that before. But after about a day and a half, things kind of got back to being normal and relatively calm, and I was able to journal and reflect about the trauma that came up for me, and like how my body reacted, and how shocked I was, and how scary it was, and how I've learned that really I have a lot more work to do, a lot more than I think I thought. But I think that's also the beautiful part about this, is that we are always learning. There's always layers and layers of ourselves that we're going to peel back and that we're going to need to heal. And that it happens over time, and we can't peel back these certain layers until we get up to other ones first. So I think I've done most of the intellectual and emotional healing from my trauma, but I'm very, very aware now that my body has a lot of healing to do. So, and my nervous system still. So I'll be continuing to visit these kinds of breathwork workshops, and I actually am going to be getting certified to learn everything I can about it in like 2 weeks in LA. I got like so excited. I'll be doing that with my friend Sharon, who is also an Instagram therapist who is amazing. Her handle is Sit With Sharon. I don't know if you've seen her work. If you haven't, check it out. But we're going to be going together to get level 1 breathwork facilitator training. I'll be getting all the juicy details, and I'm so excited to share with you the science behind it. I'm so curious to see how continuing to work in this way helps me heal, and I'm excited to bring more of this to you. So if you have any questions, feel free to send me a DM. I'd love to hear from you, drop a comment. And yeah, this was my experience, and I highly, 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 highly recommend it I think everybody should try this at least one time. I can definitely say that I feel 100% lighter, so much more aware, so much more connected to my body. And it just was a very profound experience. So if you're thinking about it, go for it. If you have the chance to go to Heal Haus, definitely go. If you have the chance to work with this facilitator who I absolutely fell in love with, and I'm trying to get her to come to LA and maybe do a workshop with my people here, check her out as well, and check out her offerings. So I hope you guys have a great day, and that this was enlightening for you, and I look forward to hearing from you.